Sometimes we get stuck into asking trivial questions, which don't cut deep enough into the customer's worldview or give us enough understanding to create this deep insight, which allows a strong visionary leap. The way I think one of the goals of early stage learning is like you're building a mental model of your customer's decision-making, current behavior, priorities. It's the story of the status quo. It's what they're already doing and why they're doing it that way and why they're not doing something better. So here's some questions you can ask yourself. So can you tell the story of how they're currently dealing with it? Probably yes. Then, can you tell the story of why they aren't already doing it better? A lot of us focus on the positive, It's like, what do you want? What's your goal? How important is this problem? What would solving it mean to you? But there's a reason they aren't already solving it, right? Your product is not the only product that solves a problem or delivers a promise. There are always alternatives, and not even within your product category. Like you might be building tech, but they could go and hire consultants, or they could figure out how to do it themselves, or they could find a pen and paper replacement. Like Excel competes with every tech product, Right now, ChatGPT is competing with like every service provider. So they can break out of your product category, right? But there's a reason that they're doing it the way they're doing it. These two are really important. You want both. You're like, how are you currently dealing with it? And they're like, oh, it's a mess. We're not doing anything. We're just losing a bunch of money. You go, aha, but you're not done yet. Okay, well, why aren't they doing something better? That will often bring up these blockers. Invisible blockers, invisible priorities. It will show you that they don't actually care as much as they claim they care. So why aren't they already doing it better? Can you tell that story? The third one is, what else have they tried prior to settling on the current status quo? This is really powerful because it shows you how much they care. How much time, energy, effort, risk are they exposing themselves to in the pursuit of a better solution? Are they trying lots of things and those things don't work? Or have they just not tried anything because they don't actually care? Is it an education problem? Is it an excitement problem? There's lots of stuff that people talk about and complain about, but they actually put no effort into solving. So, what else have they tried? And then again, paired with that, it's like, why aren't they still doing those things? If they evaluated an option or they tried it or they bought it and they gave up on it, why didn't it work for them? This is, again, a super powerful question or a line of questioning. It's not a question exactly. It's a line of questioning. Because Again, it shows you these invisible blockers that people don't know about. Like recently I paid good money for like an online calisthenics exercise at home or in the office video course, and I did it real excitedly for a day and then I stopped doing it. And if you were trying to build some sort of at-home exercise or fitness or flexibility program, me telling you my goals, yeah, I'd love to feel better. Yeah, my back's starting to hurt. Oh, I'm like, I can't move right on the mountain bike, whatever. I can tell you that and you're like, aha, he's a perfect customer. He's definitely going to love my at-home exercise flexibility thing. But you're like, wait, what else have you tried? And I'm like, oh yeah, I bought this course. I like hired this trainer. I did this thing. Oh, why aren't you still doing those? Why don't those work? Like, why aren't you just stretching? There's important information in the non-consumption. So to have a complete mental model of your customer, you want all those things. And if you want, in the comments or just for yourself, you can kind of identify these gaps. And then the next time you're chatting to someone in a casual context, you can be like, hey, weird question, but how do you, and you can ask them. Another important thing that you want to know is what better means to them. Better means different things to different customers, right? And when you're designing a product, it's all about trade-offs. You can't build everything to a perfect standard immediately with perfect robustness. These goals are kind of in tension. So, you can be more luxurious, more customizable, more bespoke, more feature rich, or you can be, more cost efficient, cheaper, lower upkeep. Those are naturally in tension, right? You can't do everything and also be the cheapest. Or you can sacrifice one or both of those in exchange for being faster and easier. It's hard to be faster and easier if you're also more feature rich, because more features create more stuff you need to learn and a more cluttered interface and a more complex product. So these are naturally in tension. And also fast. Like if you're bespoke and customizable and it can do everything and you can integrate it and customize it and personalize it, well, it is no longer fast to buy or easy to use, right? So there's inherent trade-offs here. Similarly, you've got an inherent trade-off between innovative versus proven, fast iteration cycles, new features, hooking onto the new trends, using AI, all that stuff is like innovative, it's the first of its kind, it's a new product, it does things you've never seen before. Okay, like some customers value that, but others don't, like because innovative and fast moving and never before seen is naturally in conflict with it being proven, well-established, stable. These things are in conflict. Like you can't be doing something the first of its kind and also have a bunch of proven case studies, right? So when you're designing your product, it's all about the trade-offs between these things, right? Like if you realize that we can actually, like what our customers care about is more luxurious, but they don't really care about it being fast or easy and they're willing to pay a lot of money, it's like, cool, like you can make a set of decisions off of that. if you don't understand what your customers value, or you've got a sloppy customer segment that's not a customer segment, it's like a whole market with a lot of different segments in it, and they all value different parts of this, and you end up building this lukewarm mess. Whereas if you can pick a sharp customer segment, figure out what they actually care about, you can make the right product and strategy decisions. So you want to know this, and again, you can sort of fill this in for yourself. Like what up 2 or 3 things do your target customers most value? If you've got multiple different segments, write it out for each of them, and then you can look at that and be like, are we crazy to be serving all these segments because they all care about different things? We can't possibly do that, right? And then the last one is just a quick kind of like where you're at a higher level perspective. These little diagrams are from the previous video. You can find that. But basically, like, how strong is your foundation of understanding? Shaky, partial, solid? And this foundation of understanding is basically like, are you able to tell that story of the customer's worldview? What's your speed of iteration? Is it fast? Is it slow? The faster it is, then the less painful it is to learn things as you go along, because you can trial and error it a bit more safely. Whereas if you're on the slower side of the iteration, then having a stronger foundation, like investing in the early customer learning, the pure customer learning, is more valuable. And then how much evidence do you have of the validation? And, again, this isn't the canonical framework. This is just a quick, fast, and easy way to think about it. But it's like, we don't have evidence, we don't have customers. Compliments, opinions, and a pipeline do not count here. It's like, this is based on, usage, or, they've made some commitment to get in there. They've signed up, but maybe they're not using it and retaining it properly. And then or they love it. So no validation, the pitch or the promise or the value proposition is validated, or the product itself is validated, which is, retention, referral, ongoing usage, that sort of thing. So, once again, you can real quickly, jot down where you're at if you want. If you want to kind of put it in a comment and ask me questions about it, or like sanity check something, that's fine. And I'll try to get back to a couple people at least so that we can talk through some of this. The point of this is like, it's meant to show you where the important gaps are so that you can go out and ask some important questions, and you don't get stuck in this like superficial survey level of questioning where you're like, what do you care about? What product are you currently using it? Where you're kind of stuck on maybe how they're currently dealing with it or what they want, but you haven't really understood these signals of past behavior, decision-making, priorities, blockers, what they've given up on, why they aren't doing things. The story of non-consumption is just as important as the story of consumption. Cool. Hope that's helpful.